some disturbing footage has come out featuring A'ja Wilson and her entire Las Vegas Aces team trying to pretty much flop, assault, do whatever they can to get that win yesterday, but it was just not enough, guys. This is some disturbing content.
When the cameras rolled, fans were taken aback by what they saw between Lexie Hall and A'ja Wilson, MVP 4 times. Following the release of a video revealing her in, Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces spokeswoman were the subject of a dispute.
Lexie Hall was getting pushed all game. Look at that. Like elbowed, pushed, but guess who fell? That's an illegal screen.
Look, illegal screens. At this point, they playing dirty.
What a lot of people call an act of recklessness and aggressiveness. This time, the headlines weren't about her scoring, rebounds, or leadership, but rather about her usual dominance on the floor. They questioned if she had gone too far. While Aces fans hurried to protect their singer, Fever fans flocked to social media to demand accountability. The play was staged at a time when emotions were already running high, which only made things worse and fanned the flames. This was no typical bird. It was the kind of situation that sparks discussion and casts doubt on a celebrity's true legacy.
What the hell? What the hell? Y'all playing super duper dirty. But this is how they was playing. This is how they was playing. Let's see.
Leans into Lexie Hall, pushes her. Look at this. Pushes Lexie Hall down. Like, I can't take this crap. I'm sick of watching it over and over. That's a moving screen. And then pushes her again. Look at that.
It all started with a single incident that was captured on camera and frequently replayed on social media. Wilson, the current star of the Las Vegas A's and 4-time league MVP, was seen protecting Lexie Hall from what appeared to be a brutal, intentional crime while suffering from Indiana fever. At first glance, it seemed like just another anxious move in a high-stakes game. However, enthusiasts sensed something far darker as the slow-motion viewpoint began to spread. Wilson's arms struck Hull hard, causing him to stumble back in pain.
So Caitlin was calling flop. I'm pretty sure everybody's seeing them flopping all over the damn place. I mean, they was hella flopping in this game. I mean, it was bad.
Minutes after the video was published, there was a flurry of divisive comments on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and what should have been a normal defensive altercation quickly escalated into the primary argument of the evening. Immediately, some admirers called it an attack on the court, saying Wilson ought to be suspended for going too far. Others wrote it off as playoff-level violence, saying the Fever players were faking it to please fans. There was a clear split, but there was one thing clear. This was not a clip that was going to disappear. The moment was rendered even more combustible by the context. Wilson and the club were already facing pressure from the Indiana Fever after a string of subpar games against the resurgent Aces. Due to Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, the team was immediately perceived as fearless giants, and Caitlin Clark's arrival had sparked the fever. On the other hand, the Aces came under fire for not working hard for wins, but instead coming out as arrogant and overly reliant on their reputation. In that situation, Wilson's irate actions against Lexie Hall didn't seem to be the result of simple frustration. It seemed like sadness as well. The debate was further fueled by Hull's response. Hull was obviously upset by the incident, even though she was known as one of the league's fiercest defenders. As she tried to orient herself and take a picture, admirers highlighted how Wilson looked down on her and wrote captions that went viral, saying things like, "Bullying won't save you now," and "This is what losing looks like." It was more than just the hit itself. It dealt with how a celebrity's reputation was being destroyed in real time by the referees. The reaction drew criticism. Supporters of the Fever instead thought that officials were reiterating their defense of star power in order to preserve equity. Videos of Wilson's.
I just gotta be honest. I just gotta keep it real. But at this point, like, when is something's going to be done? You know what I'm saying? Like, when is they going to, like, somehow fix this or somehow, you know, like, I know they kind of fist the whistle for the most part, but I don't know, man. Something just gotta be done.
Performance getting canceled as Fever committed numerous lesser infractions went viral. Players were called right away. This added to the long-standing rumor that the league makes a special effort to keep its star names untouchable. By the conclusion, the video has become more than simply a negative highlight of the evening, even if veracity is compromised. It functioned as a sign. It represented entitlement and haughtiness, according to Wilson's critics, as well as a refusal to accept that her authority was being challenged. It was merely an exaggerated occurrence during a competitive moment, according to her supporters. Whatever your position, though, there was one subject that kept coming up in the league. Wilson had just gone too far and was unable to go back. Furthermore, whatever the play was, the shocking events that took place in the hours that followed only served to further confuse matters.
Gotta be done with these referees, letting them just play dirty because they play dirty.
Here we go. A'ja Wilson. Look at her trying to flop to get a call. Nobody touch you. And this is the biggest bullcrap of the game. So Kelsey Mitchell goes in for a layup. A'ja Wilson shows them their lip, so they review it. You ever see an Indiana Fever player get a review when they're called for a foul and they zoom in with a microscope and call it technical?
Also, have a look at Becky Hammond. Take a seat. Just because your team is being killed. Take a look at this. A'ja Wilson's second legal screen. When you're arranging screens, you can't be too bold. A'ja Wilson. Take a look at the foul that was called. After the video with A'ja Wilson and Lexie Hull was released. In a WNBA game, the internet turns into a battlefield. What may have been written off as just another rough play turned into a tornado of viral material. Fans and others repeated, slowed down, and edited the video. Examining each viewpoint as though it were evidence in a court of law. The debate went beyond whether Wilson had acted improperly. Was unsure if her entire reputation as a celebrity was beginning to erode. Supporters of Wilson Hours Fever argued that if the roles had been reversed, the punishment would have been immediate, using popular hashtags like #Justice for Lexie and #SuspendAWilson. They said that this proved the leagues were biased in favor of celebrity protection by citing examples of lesser-known players who were disciplined for less forceful contact. Some even specifically called out WNBA authorities, asking them to suspend or punish Wilson. The NBA is essentially suggesting that MVPs are exempt from the rules if they allow this to happen. A public user created a post that received thousands of likes. Meanwhile, AC supporters rushed to Wilson's defense, alleging that Hull exaggerated the impact in order to arouse sympathy. Their argument was straightforward. Wilson was merely giving the famously unpopular Fever a taste of their own medicine by playing rough-and-tumble basketball. Videos of Elia Boston showing Kelsey Mitchell driving into contact and laying firm screens were used as evidence that the state of Indiana is also cruel. The focus of the argument quickly changed from a single bird to a proxy war. Focuses on women's basketball's unique identity and toughness bias. The play's breakdowns drove talks creators insane. Some
called a technical on Kelsey Mitchell and then called a foul on her on this play.
Wow.
And then look at this. This is ridiculous. Michaela Timpson gets a foul called for. And look at, Becky Hammond. Sit down just because your team's getting killed. Look at this. Another legal screen by A'ja Wilson. You cannot stick your leg out on when you're setting screens. A'ja Wilson. Look at that foul they called for.
Use slow-motion edits and dramatic music to portray Wilson as a villain, while others ridiculed the exaggeration and implied that the success was false. The Fever wouldn't have made it onto a highlight reel if it weren't for their increasing popularity. The video went viral for reasons other than basketball. It had to do with narratives. Wilson was more than just an athlete at the time. She became enamored with the drama and couldn't stop watching this character. The response from past players and commentators only made things worse. According to several past experts, Wilson's behavior was more akin to frustration than malice. But their comments were drowned by louder voices claiming that she had violated a professional boundary. ESPN. The scene was repeatedly shown, with panelists expressing differing views on whether it was a purposeful cheap shot or a competitive fire. The more people spoke about it as the main topic of the season, the more it became apparent. Fan edits and highlight shows weren't the only repercussions. An Instagram photo of Wilson facing Hull while wearing boxing gloves went viral, sparking a wave of memes. Another displayed her MVP medals breaking in two, with a statement on how many accolades come before accountability. Wilson's name kept trending for all the wrong reasons, and it was horrible. What should have been a conversation about sports and officiating had turned into a cultural phenomenon by the conclusion of the week. Many people today portray Wilson, the league's top player, as its most controversial figure. The WNBA itself was a remarkably quiet organization, while fans were busy online side-picking. Furthermore, the league's silence only helped to fuel speculation that things would only get worse. As the outrage reached a fever pitch, many people expected the WNBA to step in. After all, when a crisis puts the reputation of the league's best stars in jeopardy, officials usually respond quickly, quick to intervene and restore order by defending the player or leaving a remark. This time, however, there was no disciplinary punishment, no press release, and not even a passing mention of the widely circulated film featuring the sports world. Since their silence was more potent than any kind of punishment, Indiana Fever supporters wasted no time in speaking out, exposing the hypocrisy. Action confirmed their worst concerns that the league will do whatever it takes to keep its stars, and angry comments were common in comment threads asserting that the WNBA would have banned a rookie or role player for the same play right away. Despite clear communication at the time to distinct criteria for different names, fans claimed that officials had resurrected footage of Caitlin Clark being pushed down earlier in the season. The concept that gained popularity across all media was echoed in one post. Due to the league's inaction, conspiracy theories were fostered. Hypothesis: some fans believed Wilson was untouchable because of her sponsorship deals and MVP status. Claimed that the WNBA was trying to maintain its marketing narrative in light of Caitlin Clark's massive ratings. Since Wilson is the league's most recognizable figure, her suspension might throw off the delicate balance. For reviewers, there was more than one bird in the silence around old guard and new wave. It focused on brand protection politics. Analysts began to question the WNBA's motivations for keeping quiet. Pundits argued that the league's reputation was on the line on debate shows and podcasts. The hardness and violence that authorities desired to promote had to be their own responsibility if they were to emphasize justice. They had to hold Wilson accountable in order to prove this. The league was deemed weak otherwise.